rain hammered down on the slick asphalt, reflecting the neon glow of the city's remaining streetlights. In the distance, a low, rhythmic thumping echoed, almost keeping a bizarre, off-kilter beat with the raindrops. It was the sound of the horde, the relentless pulse of a city's dying heart. For Bianca, the rhythm wasn't just noise, it was inspiration. This gothic, apocalyptic nightlife was her new muse. Weeks ago, the city's night scene had been a pulsing, vibrant human landscape. Now, the only revelers were the shambling, reanimated dead. But a different kind of nightlife persisted in the shadows, fueled by adrenaline and defiance. Bianca, a DJ with a talent for finding the beauty in the macabre, had adapted. Her studio was a fortified loft overlooking the city's grand, decaying downtown, with floor-to-ceiling windows now serving as both a lookout and a morbid, ever-changing backdrop. The zombies were an unending stream below, their movements as predictable and repetitive as a broken record. Bianca saw a terrible kind of poetry in their mindless shuffling. She channeled the city's decay into her music, a fusion of thumping electronic beats and eerie industrial sounds. Her song Nightlife wasn't just a party anthem anymore, it was the soundtrack to the end of the world. The bass pulsed with the rhythm of the horde, the synths screamed like the sirens that had long since fallen silent, and the hi-hats rattled like the skeletal clatter of the undead. The album artwork, in her mind, was already created, a dark, desolate skyline, bathed in the sickly green light of a dying moon, with the silhouette of a DJ at the turntables playing for an audience of zombies below. This wasn't a story of survival, not really. It was a story of defiance. Bianca wasn't running or hiding. She was curating the apocalypse, her music giving rhythm and meaning to the city's final, desperate hours. One night, the horde below her window seemed different. More animated. They weren't just shuffling, they were dancing. At least, in the way the undead could dance. They were drawn to the sound, a grotesque and beautiful sight. The low thumping of her bass matched their movements, and their raspy moans seemed to find a bizarre harmony with her synthesizers. It was a macabre concert, with Bianca as the lone performer and the zombies as her captivated audience. A single, tearful laugh escaped her lips. The irony was not lost on her. She'd always wanted to play a packed citywide concert, and here she was, playing for an audience that had lost their souls, but not their sense of rhythm. As the bass dropped, a spotlight from a falling helicopter sliced through the rain, illuminating her silhouette. For a moment, the gothic night was hers, and the nightlife had never been so alive. The rain fell like liquid midnight, washing the neon-drenched streets of Neo-Gothica in a greasy, iridescent sheen. A lone figure, Bianca, navigated the city on her electric-powered cruiser, the hum of its motor a low bass line against the city's frantic, broken beat soundtrack. Her destination was the Dublux, a clandestine club renowned for its darkwave beats and illicit pleasures, but tonight, the city's rhythm felt different. There was a new, dissonant element in the mix, a growing chorus of groans and dragging feet that seemed to echo Bianca's own anxieties. The news had been buzzing with hushed reports of a nightlife gone wrong, a new designer drug that turned users into flesh-hungry fiends. Bianca had dismissed it as sensationalist garbage, but the shadows seemed to pulse with a menacing new life. As she neared the Dublux, the groans intensified, punctuated by the wet thud of something heavy hitting the pavement. A glint of shattered glass from a broken storefront caught her eye, and she saw it, a figure shambling in the rain, its movements jerky and unnatural. A zombie, its face a mottled mask of decay, turned and locked its milky, white eyes on Bianca. Its jaws opened in a silent, hungry snarl, and a guttural moan escaped its throat, a sound that sent a primal shiver down her spine. The single track from the Dublux that had been on loop in her head for hours suddenly dropped a haunting, distorted synth riff that now felt less like a cool beat and more like a terrifying warning. The creature lunged, its rotted fingers outstretched. Bianca reacted on instinct, her years of navigating Neo-Gothica's mean streets kicking in. She swerved the cruiser, the tires squealing as she left a wake of spray and nearly took the creature with her. It was then she realized the city was far gone. Dozens more zombies emerged from the alleyways and abandoned cars, a ravenous parade of the undead. The vibrant, chaotic nightlife she once loved had been usurped by a new, horrifying kind of nocturnal dread. The Dublux, the bastion of their scene, was a beacon in the storm, a destination where she hoped to find others still clinging to their humanity. The zombies of Neo-Gothica did not dance like the zombies of B-movies, all lurching and stiff-legged. This was a new breed, infused with the city's darkwave rhythms, their movements a grotesque and disturbing parody of the club scene they had once inhabited. The infection, a designer drug cocktail gone wrong, had corrupted their bodies but left a phantom echo of their obsessions. As the bass line from a distant club throbbed through the rain-slicked streets, the zombies moved with a macabre grace. The shuffle, some moved with a shambling, feet-dragging gait, the traditional zombie shuffle, but with a disturbing twist. They would occasionally jerk or pop, their arms and shoulders dislocating and snapping back into place to the beat, mimicking a corrupted version of hip-hop or dubstep dancing. The locking of few zombies, perhaps former dancers, exhibited a distorted form of locking. They would strike a pose, a clawed hand suspended mid-air, a head tilted at an impossible angle, and hold it for a few agonizing seconds before their bodies, governed by decay and the erratic signal of the virus, would snap into another pose. The strobe-lit frenzy. Under the flickering neon of broken street signs, the zombies would convulse in a manic dance. The light would catch them in flashes, revealing a tableau of flailing limbs and lolling heads. Their movements, driven by an animal hunger and a distorted music, were less a dance and more a seizure set to a horrifying beat. The horde as unit, the mass of zombies moved as a collective, a monstrous and horrifying dance crew. One might start a movement, a rhythmic head bob, a scuttling step, and the rest would follow, creating an unsettling, unified motion. This mimicry created a terrifying illusion of purpose, a synchronized, predatory ballet performed for an audience of one, Bianca. They were not just shambling corpses, they were a macabre performance art piece, their dance a cruel joke played on the city's once vibrant nightlife. Every twitch and groan was a perversion of the passion that once fueled Neo-Gothica's club scene, now a haunting symphony of hunger and decay. Bianca's fear was not just of being caught, but of becoming a part of this monstrous choreography, her body adding another layer to the city's grim, final performance. The designer drug in the story, a corrupting blend of synthetic cathinones and obscure neurotoxins, affected the zombies' movements by hijacking and distorting the brain's motor control systems. Rather than a simple reanimation of dead flesh, the drug caused a perversion of normal neural functions, especially those controlling muscle movement and coordination. This resulted in the unsettling, dance-like mannerisms observed in the creatures. Basal ganglia interference. The basal ganglia, a group of structures deep within the brain, are responsible for motor control and habitual behaviors. The designer drug was engineered to flood this region with an erratic mix of neurotransmitters, causing the zombies to compulsively repeat actions in a distorted, rhythmic pattern. The repetitive dragging of their feet or twitching of their limbs was a grotesque manifestation of a neurological short circuit. Dopamine overload, similar to real-world psychostimulants, the drug caused massive, uncontrolled surges of dopamine. While a normal dopamine release is associated with pleasure, This chemically induced explosion of activity reinforced the zombies' hunger and turned their predatory movements into a twisted reward-seeking loop. Their jerky lunges and aggressive actions were not just an instinctual response but a hardwired, drug-fueled imperative. Impaired coordination. The drug damaged the cerebellum, a brain region crucial for coordination and balance. This caused the zombies' staggered, stumbling gait and explained why some would suddenly strike and hold a distorted pose like a broken marionette. The impaired coordination also contributed to their lack of self-preservation, causing them to flail violently or fall repeatedly. Muscle fiber dissolution. Drawing inspiration from real zombie drugs like Flakka, the Neo-Gothica designer drug had a side effect that dissolved muscle fibers in some users. For the zombies, this meant their violent, dance-like movements could physically tear their own bodies apart. The horrifying popping and snapping sounds Bianca heard were the result of their own necrotic bodies failing under the strain of their hyper-agitated movements. The combination of these effects resulted in the specific movements that Bianca observed. The shuffle, the erratic gait was a result of the damaged cerebellum and the drug's effect on motor control. Some zombies' bodies would occasionally jerk in response to a sonic cue like a distant bass line, causing their shuffling to become a grotesque, involuntary dance. The locking. Former dancers might have retained some muscle memory, which the drug then corrupted. The basal ganglia would initiate a familiar dance-like motion, but the drug's influence would cause the zombie to freeze, locking into a position until the signal failed or was replaced by a new, equally broken command. The frenzy. Stimulant and caffeinone components of the drug induced psychosis and hyperexcitability, leading to manic, uncontrollable convulsions. Under flickering lights, these violent, full-body spasms looked like a distorted rave, driven by terror and drug-addled aggression. This neurological breakdown meant the zombies weren't just mindless drones but were victims trapped in a terrifying drug-induced loop, their former passions perverted into a predatory, relentless dance of death.
Body, 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 body. Move your body, move your body. Everybody, move your body. Everybody in the place. Every burn, the vibrations go. Move your body, move your body. Everybody, move your body. Body, move your body, body, move your body, body, everybody, body, move your body, body, move your body, body, move your body, body, everybody, body, move your body, body, move your body, body, move your body, body, everybody, body, move your body, everybody in the place. Every burn, the vibrations go. Dum 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 dum, get it dum, get it dum. Call me on the telephone, call me on the phone. Call me on the telephone, call me on the phone. Call me on the telephone, call me on the phone. Call me on the telephone, call me on the phone. Call me on the telephone, call me on the phone. Dum 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 dum, get it dum, get it dum 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 dum. Get it dum 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 dum, get it dum, get it dum 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 dum.